The martial arts action comedy Kung Fu Hustle is definitely such an intriguing film. Seriously, even with the over-the-top action, this is definitely a movie that I would highly recommend for people to check out who hasn't seen this one already, because this one is quite entertaining to say the least. Directed by Stephen Chow, who also had co-written the screenplay, produced it, and actually has starred in it as well. Taking place in 1940 Shanghai, a notorious group of people known as the Axe Gang is causing problems for the residents in a rundown slum known as Pigsty Alley. So it's up to a few unlikely heroes with extraordinary powers to come together in order to defend their turf. And from there, it's certainly such a delightful movie. This one is stylish, it's hilarious, it's slapstick humor at its best. This might be one of the most stupidest movies I have seen in a long time, and I mean that in a good way. And while I only had seen this one twice as of this recording, I think that Stephen Chow did such an amazing job of making this movie memorable. Characters are interesting and unique, the acting is good, and overall, I don't despise this one whatsoever. In fact, this is one of the most unorthodox martial arts movies I have seen throughout the years just because of how over the top everything is. It's not meant to be taken seriously, which actually makes it stand out compared to the other movies in this genre. Now, when it comes to the characters, they all are pretty interesting, especially Sing. I think that Stephen Chow did such a great job playing this character. Sing is the type of guy who doesn't have much going on with his life. He wants to join the Axe Gang, but he doesn't know how to go about it. And speaking of which, his sidekick Bone, I also had liked that character. I think the chemistry between the two actors was good. And speaking of which, of how good the chemistry is, the Axe Gang definitely, there's something to say the least. I mean, when they dance in the beginning of the film, it's pretty much laugh out loud. They're serious, but then they act silly. In fact, this whole film is just downright hysterical. And I mean that in a good way. And speaking of other characters, though, I think the landlady and landlord of Pigsty Alley, definitely they have a backstory that is intriguing to say the least. And then there's the antagonists, such as Brother Sum, who is the leader of the Axe Gang. And then there's the Beast, who is a serious threat to say the least. Like, this is a spoiler warning, he doesn't show up till past the hour mark, but when he does show up, some serious shit does go down. Like, seriously, the action scenes are definitely the highlight of this movie. And I like how this film is over the top. Sure, it could have went the serious route. It could have been one of those films you could sit down and say, you know, this movie doesn't play any games. It's definitely a film that takes pride in being over the top, because if it was serious, I don't think this movie would have worked. At the end of the day, this film gets the job done pretty well. It's enjoyable, it has some good character development, and a story that is quite entertaining despite some of the issues that I do have with this one. I'm giving this film a 7 out of 10. Now, one of my problems I have with this film is that, well, some characters don't get a whole lot of screen time. But other than that, this is a good movie in my opinion. It's 99 minutes, which is a perfect runtime, because had this one gone on any longer, then all the tropes within this film would have got boring real quickly. And I have heard that a Kung Fu Hustle 2 is in development, but it's not going to be a direct sequel. It's going to have new characters, it's going to take place in modern times, and it could possibly have a female lead as well. Plus, Stephen Chow is returning to direct the sequel, so it's going to be cool to look at when it eventually does get made. Definitely, this one still holds up even nearly 20 years later, and I also believe it's one of the most influential martial arts films from the 2000s as well. And that is my review of Kung Fu Hustle. Okay, leave your comments down below in the section and let me know what you think about this movie. Alright, this is Slim Guy 172 saying peace out.
Bye.